All right. So we'll get started in, I think, in just one more minute. I'm just waiting for everybody to come in. And yes, so we'll get started. We'll have a small recap of what happened yesterday, and then I think we forgot to do one topic, that is the forms. So we'll complete that for HTML, and after that we'll start with the CSS for today. I'll give you a basic rundown of what all CSS has and what exactly you need to understand before we actually dive deep into CSS. Okay. So that means we look at a little bit of syntax, we look at a little bit of how it works, what are the types of attributes, all that. Okay. All right, all right. So just one more minute. I think I'll get started. It's already 7:05. I think we'll yeah, I think I'll start the recording. Yes, I think the recording has started. Let me start the attendance as well. Okay, guys. So we'll wait for I think one moment. So will you update yesterday's recorded class by today? It is already there, Santoshini. It is already there. I just put it. I just put it. I think I haven't even sent the Google Classrooms also. So my job is to do that today. I was a little occupied yesterday, so I'll do it today. Okay, today or by at least by tomorrow, we'll definitely get it. So don't worry about the classes. Currently, there is not need of any classrooms. You don't have to submit any assignments for now. So don't worry of the classrooms, Google Classroom and the notes. Okay, but yes, you will definitely get everything. As in all the notes for CSS, HTML, and JS. Notes will be given, as well as I will also give notes for SQL. Okay, so these three notes I will definitely give. No, Node.js, I have to prepare the notes for Node.js. So let's see when I can when I do prepare, I'll definitely give it to you. Okay, and also there is something there's something called as a VIP vault which I do. So let's see if I can. I'll explain that later on. So that is a little bit of premium type of resources. Yes, Ankit, please. You wanted to ask something? 1 minute. Okay. Again, guys, if you don't have anything to say, please be on mute. MongoDB, SQL, Manoj. No, MongoDB, I'll not be able to cover. Okay, we'll be using primarily SQL here. Okay. All right, guys. So I think we have, let's get started. We have waited for a long time. I think I'll share my screen and we'll get right into the classes today. Okay. And I think just like Rahul was, asking yesterday, we'll be using VS Code for the complete notes. I mean, whatever we'll be doing, we will be doing in either VS Code or I will also be using the. So I'm driving. I can. Yes. Oh, yes. Even I haven't. Thank you so much, Vedasai. Even I wanted to. Okay, guys, switch on your cameras. If you cannot switch on your cameras, please put in the chat box that, sir, I am having this issue, that issue, whatever it is. Please let it be known for everybody. All right. Again, even I don't have a very good background. I'm wearing my T-shirt, so and my hair is messed up. So don't worry if you are like, sir, I'm not groomed. It happens. It's Saturday. Everybody's busy. You have your own things, right? All right. So let's get started, sir. Okay, Abhay says, Abhay, you are always. I see. A few people always don't switch on their cameras. One or two times is fine, but always there are few people I do notice that they don't switch on their cameras. So remember, it is one of the requirements by Camplin itself. So it's not from me. I don't have anything to do with it. I'm fine if you don't switch on your cameras or switch on your cameras. I'm okay with any of it. Right. So please be mindful of what you put in the chat box. Everything is being recorded as well. So all right. So let's get started with what we're gonna learn. So again, just a quick rundown of what exactly happened in the last class. We looked at so many different tags, correct? We looked at so many different tags. One of that we'll just cover as much as possible here. And the server is also started. So I'll give you wait, I'll split the screen. But exactly, wait. Yeah, I think service stopped. Okay, people are still yet to join in, man. Excuse me while I go back and forth and let everybody in. Okay. So this is basic with all the tags which we covered. I think not all the tags, but definitely few of the most important tags. And also there is a form below. Okay, so this is the form which we'll be learning today. I think I haven't used. Okay, so this is the thing what we'll be learning, and we'll right after we have finished learning the form. Okay, we'll get into the CSS part, and I'll give you a basic rundown of what all CSS is. Okay, right. So let's understand the code again. I hope you can see my screen properly. Let me see. Yeah, this is it. Yeah. Okay. So again, just a very basic code. There is HTML head title which I've given, and as well as this CSS which we will come to later on. There is a header tag. Okay, what is the header for? Main header. Correct. This is the header. We'll try to actually make it better using CSS. I have currently disabled CSS, so you won't be able to see anything. But you'll understand when we switch to CSS why exactly these things are here. How do we differentiate it? What is the whole concept of division tags and other types of tags related to like main section, right? So all this we'll have a look at. Okay, so we looked at navigation tag. Correct. This is for the menu tag, as we called it, menu navigation tags, right? And also there is a little bit of list. Correct. This is the basic tags. Now let's understand, after you have put in the header, inside the header tag, all the information what you need. Okay, what all information is there? The title. Okay, no, sorry, my bad. The heading tag. Okay, then there is navigation tags here. Okay, good. When this is the top part, I said, right, the head part. Now also right after the header, right, is the main section. Like I said, you can, right, you can use, this is the main section which I have put till here. Correct. That means till where? Till services. Till here is my main section. Okay. And also, like I mentioned yesterday, it doesn't really matter where you use this main section. You can put it here as well. Okay. Or if you're like, no, sir, I'll put the entire content into my main section. You can do it. Even if you want to put the header, or not, I don't suggest putting header, but yeah. You want to put everything in the main section, go ahead. You can still save it. You can see there's the same thing. I've saved the same file. There is no difference here. Right? The actual difference is how you are utilizing the tag. Correct. So I was utilizing it till here, and that is till services is my main section of the website. Understood? Now, after that, again, there let's understand what all is there in the main section. There is section tag, correct? Open and close tag. That means I have divided into one, two, and three sections within the main tag. Yes. So this is what we call as three sections within the tag. You can even use division tag here. There's absolutely no problem. You can even use span tag here. Okay. The major difference again is flexibility, how you want to use it in the program. All right. Again, I've used a division here as well. I'll be using it here and there. So you can, it's up to you where and what type of tags you want to use, because it gives a lot of flexibility when it comes to coding. Okay. Yes, someone has unmuted. Ankit, you have, there's a lot of different. Okay. Let me come back. I'm not. So the Superman can come. Okay, okay. I think I saw someone else area. All right. Can we use Anaconda for development? Anaconda, you can. You just have to install the different types of softwares for that. Within Anaconda is a very big, platform. You can. You have to install a lot of different things. It's better you use a text editor rather than an IDE. Anaconda is known for more majorly IDE platforms. Okay. I hope there is no audio issues from my side. I think I saw someone say audio issues. All right. Again, guys, if there's any audio issues from my side, please let me know so that I can clear it, and you will be able to hear exactly what I say. All right. So, as I was saying, right, main section you can add in anywhere you want, depending on where and what type of menu section you want within your website. Okay. Okay. So next is a contact us page. Okay. This is another section which I made. Right? And within that section, I've added a form. Okay. Now, this is something very different. This is what we really need to understand how to work. how it works. I think this we haven't touched. So let's understand these concepts and let's improve them. Okay. So let me full screen this and let's edit it and let's understand what all is there first of all. First of all, to design a form, there is a form tag. Yes, correct. There's opening and closing form tags. And right after you have closed, okay, you can either use section here, span here, or I have used division tag here. Okay, it is not yet necessary. Let's let's untag it for now. Let's not use this for now. Okay, let's understand the whole concept of a form. Let's not even use label for now. We'll bring this back later on. First is going to be the input. That means you are taking an input from the user. Yes. So you add in the input tag. This is the input tag. Okay. There are 2 to 3 different attributes. Ankit, please be on mute. I think you have unmuted by mistake. Please be on mute, Ankit. It's a lot of people are yet to join in, guys. All right. Thank you. So let's understand the input. Okay. So there are many attributes when it comes to input tags. One is the type. Okay, let me yes, please be on mute, guys. Okay, so as I was saying, there is input tags, correct? Let's say input and I click enter. So this is one particular attribute, that is type. Yes. Now in type there are so many variations which you can use. For example, let's say number. There's number. There is let's say name or text. Okay, you can take just the text of the user, or if say email, you want the email, you can use the email. There are so many different types and variations of the type attribute, right? Like the button, checkbox, color, date, right? Email. You can even add file to it. You can add images. Again, there's so many different types which you can use within that particular field. Okay, that is type. Now currently we are already using okay, let's say this is text. Okay, next is the name. Okay, what name are you using to send it to the PHP backend, basically SQL or MongoDB, whatever the backend you are using. Okay, so for that we have to give a name. Let's say this is f name, that is first name. Okay, so I'm going to save this. I'm going to make this irrelevant for now. Okay, let's see the code. So this here is a checkbox. So my name is Hemant. Okay, so whatever the first name, this is where it is. Now you can see there is no there's no indication of me or indication that I should write what type of name. Is it my first name, full name, last name, right? So let's give that. Okay, so how do we do it? There are multiple ways. Okay, let me go through the ways. First is, as usual, you can use a p tag. Okay, then you can use something called as label tag, which is really relevant to forms. Okay, let's use the label tag for now. Okay, what is a label tag? Okay, label tag is generally used with a particular field called as form. Sorry, for. Now what is this? How is it used for? First of all, let's write first name here. First name. Okay, save it. Let's see the output. So here it is. Okay, I'm clicking on it. Okay, right, this is what the first name is for, and here is what I type, Hemant, right? Or anybody's name like Manoj, Creep, right? So whatever it is, whatever the first name is, you can write it here. Now, but how do we use the label? Okay, what is it used for? One, it is specifically used for forums and a lot of different places also. What it does is right now, like let's go back to the code. Sorry, my bad. The output. If I click on this, I should be able to the code should be able to understand how I'm trying to write the f name, right? First name. So what I do is I just write um, f name. Let's not confuse it. Let's write first name. Okay, until here, don't worry. If you are getting confused, not an issue. Right now, what I'll do is I'll write an ID for it equals This is again an attribute. For majority of the attributes, there's an ID tag. We'll come to that. These are called selectors. So what I'll write? I'll write as first name. Okay. So this is my ID for what? For the first name. Okay. Label will be like, hey, I there's a label for what? For the first name. Where have you put the first name? Here. Correct. Or let's make it even simpler. Let's give this a number 1. Okay. And let's change this label for what? For what are we using the label for? 1. What is happening here? After you have saved this, let's go back to the code and the output. Now I can as usual type it, right? But also, if you look at it, I'll not yet click here. I can, if I click here also, it will get selected. Before, what has to happen? If I click here, nothing is to get selected. Now, because of the label tag, I'm able to link label tag and the checkbox or the text box here. Correct. Same thing we can do for all these three. Right now, there's also one more field which I'll explain. Okay. Right. This is the use of label tag. Okay. In the input tag, there's one more attribute which is called as placeholder. Okay. It's called as placeholder. Placeholder is basically, if you have not given the first name here, like you're saying here, right? Use your email. You can directly give it in the text box itself. That is what we call as placeholder. You can address your first name. Save. Here it is. You don't always have to use the label tag. You can use something like this as well. Okay. So this we can just replicate it and put it for every other tag. So let me put the label tag for this. Yes. And let's change the label numbers. Let's add the ID. This is for 2, correct? And this is 3. Let's add, okay, this is text area, but you can still add the ID. That is 3 space. Okay, right. Save it. Okay, let's change the names. So first name, this is, let's give this as the last name. Last name, and let's say address. Okay, save it. Now this is what you get. Okay, so also there are other types of attributes like let's copy this. Let's change this to 3. Let's say 3 here as well, but instead of email, we'll give it as gender. Okay, or so my bad, ratio. Okay, so let's save this and see what we get. We get a last name. Oh my god, I have spelled it wrong. The placeholder is not needed. Radio. Here we go. So this is, let's give a label name as, let's say what are you studying? So let's say I am studying UG, that is undergrad, or take it down, PG, as in postgraduate. Now let's call this as PhD. Okay, and save it. So now we also have 3 types of variations here. One is UG, PG, and UD. But now you can see I'm selecting all 3, right? So why is that? Because we have to give a name tag for this. So all of that should have the same name tags equals. Let's say this is for radio, right? So let's give it as not radio. Let's say this is for education, right? Okay. So we'll copy this, and this will be for all of it. Radio, radio, and save. Now you can select only one. Okay. Why? Because you have given name same for all the three radios, correct? You can select only one. This is the whole concept of a radio, right? You have to select only one. There's no concept of using two radios. That is where checkbox comes in. You can use checkbox again for the same thing. This okay, let's not do this. Let's copy this and let's see the checkbox. Okay, here is a checkbox. Right? So checkbox is usually to select one or two elements. Correct. So this is what and how you use the form. The next is the button thing, button tag, which we'll look at. Okay, this is also one of the most required, type of submissions. Right, this is where you'll send the data or do some functions here. Right, what is the button all about? Either to send it to somewhere else, or send you to somewhere else, or to maybe reset some type of an action. Yes, for some type of an action. Okay, before I explain action as well, so let's understand this is the button at button tag. Okay, it has the type attribute as well as other types of attributes. We'll go to the attributes. Okay, and let's say I want to make them definitely fill their usernames. Okay, that means I need their first name. I definitely need their, let's say, their email ID or their address. So what I do, there's also one
Excuse me,
more.
sir.
Yes.
Sir, how can we display this radio buttons before its label?
Sorry.
Can you show the
Mhm.
output of your code, please?
Yeah. Just a minute. Yes, here's the output.
Here we have. I want to display this radio button before UG and PG.
Before UG.
Yeah,
Before it. Oh,
is this
that is just
possible?
changing the label. Yes. It's just the placement. If you place it here and save it, here it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. It's again. Okay. And also one thing which you have to understand about HTML, basically HTML, it's that there is a hierarchy. What is the hierarchy? That means what will dominate and what will be a dominant. So what
Sir,
is the dominant? Yes.
yes, sir, can we
Yes.
change the shapes of that boxes or the text boxes we get?
Yes, you're talking about the wait, let me show you the output. The shape, is it?
Yes, sir. The
Uh,
shapes of the boxes.
okay, what type of shape are you like? Do you have in mind? Like, what do you mean by change the shape of the text box?
Sir, like in the modern days, we are just used to the materialistic designs of the applications or the websites. So, like
Okay.
when we create such applications or websites, clients will expect the same from us.
Hmm.
So, I'm just asking, like, we could create the shapes such as the round cornered edges of the boxes, like whatever we see in the interfaces of Twitter or Google logins, such things.
Yes, like that. Yes. So again, will come to that. That is with CSS. Yes, you can do it. So the whole styling of it, what you're talking about, everything is possible in CSS. Okay. You
Okay.
have different. You have a lot of flexibility when you are using CSS. I'll explain that in particular when we start CSS. Not to. Who was that? Prasad? No.
It's me, sir.
Manoj. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, got it. Don't worry, Manoj. Yes, you can definitely change the way you're looking at it. Or there are so many different variations which CSS offers you. So yes, we'll go through it. Okay, but
Okay.
let's modify this a little bit so that it look good again. Okay. Usually this is not a good practice, but you can definitely use BR. Okay, to just to give some space. Save this. Yes. I think I have to give it here as well. Okay, so before we go forward as well, there is also, like I said, for the buttons specifically, there are a lot of different variations. Okay, so like I said, there is okay, no, there is a reset, there is submit, menu is not really required. Okay, so now we have what the message called as submit. Correct. Let's put a reset here. Let's change the naming also. No, so what is reset button? Reset button will basically reset everything. So if you say that you have typed something here, okay, and I've selected something like this, and I have clicked reset, it will reset, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. Now, also when you are using a different, wait, we I think still worked. Yes. Okay. Reset. Wait. Submit is basically you will submit it somewhere, correct? That is in the backend. How does that happen? Let me bring back the submit. Okay, so once you click on submit, okay, let's say I type in something, I type in my address, I select one of these and I check box yes, and I click on submit. Okay, it is taking reset still. Yeah, okay, it is getting submitted, but we don't have any place to where it's taking action. Okay, so let me type again, select something like this and this, and yeah. Okay, okay, this is the thing which I think I was explaining. Let's go back to that. I have put in something called as a required area. So which tag is it? For last name. First name is here, last name is here. I don't see that required. Okay. So what are we getting first of all? If I submit like this, okay, enter an email ID I'm getting, right? Probably because I have selected as email ID. But also, let's say that I'm like, no, 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 I want their email ID at any cost. Okay, if they are filling out their the form, one or two is very required, so there is an attribute called as required which you can use. Okay, let's I'll show you without this first. Let's go back. I submit something and I click on, now it's submitted. Okay, but let's say I type something and I forgot to give the email ID here. It still says last name, we'll change that, and I type this. Okay, and I submit and I submit. No, wait, I have not the required. Here we go. So same thing. Let me fill something in. I have skipped this. Now it says fill. Please fill out this field, right? So the required is something which you can give if a few things are very required. You can definitely give. In I think in Google Forms you might have noticed that star, the red icon, right? Or which is really required. So this is one of the places how you can make it required. Okay. Okay, so what's next? What's next? Let me, yeah. So the next is, let's say password. I haven't explained password, right? In the form itself, there is also something called as password which you have, or you can give, let's say you are designing a login page, correct? So let's say I am removing this saying
Excuse me,
password.
sir.
Yes.
Sir, can we change the message displayed when the field is empty for required? When
Uh,
you
yes, you can. You can. Yes, you can. You're talking about the message which I get here after if I fill this, right? If I don't fill this
yes,
message,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, you can. But there is a default thing which you'll always have. You can always override it using JavaScript later on. I'll show you to you. Okay. Yes, you can.
Oh, okay,
Hmm?
sir. Okay.
Yeah, you can definitely override it. See, there is always a default, and because, like I said, there's flexibility involved. You can always override anything you want to whatever preset or you want to design or to display. Okay, so I'll show that in just a while. So this is for password. Okay, I have given the type as password. Okay, I have let's change the label to 4. Save and remove the do pass. Yeah, pass is fine. Okay, okay, save it. So this is the password. Okay, So this is the password which will automatically, put it into unknown values or not visible values. And once you click OK, let's type this as well, something like this, and submit it. Now it is not going anywhere. Yes, it is being submitted, but where is it supposed to go? We have to define where it will go. For that, we have to come back to form. Okay, inside form there is an attribute called as action. Okay, like you're saying, this is the attribute called as action. This is where you give the destination of the form. Okay, it might be inside usually this PHP or any type of database you're using. So you can use that particular form here. For example, let's say okay, let's say user data dot php. This is the end point. I mean, that means whatever the data will be filled within this form, it will go to this. This is the end point of that form. Okay, let's save it. And there is also two more things with respect to that. I'll talk about that. Okay. Okay. So I think also I have missed one more point. So I'll cover that as well. Okay. So this is about the password. Also, there is one more thing for the password specifically. There is you can write max or maximum characters you can give. For example, this is also one more thing. Maximum length. Let's say you can give it like 12 characters. Characters as in each of it with space included. Whatever the password will be, you can give it. There is also limitations which you can give for characters. There's a limited type of special characters. All that you can definitely give here. Okay. So this is one thing. What else am I missing? Let me look at my notes. Okay. Yes. Also, when you are using the form, okay, and you are submitting it, there is one more attribute which is the type. Okay. It's usually get. Okay. Get is what. Now this get is a little bit of not secure mode of submitting it. Okay. But also there's one more thing called as post.
Sir,
Okay.
that's type or method?
Sorry.
I think that's method, not type.
Method. Oh yes, yes, yes. Oh sorry. Yes, this is method. Yes, the method of submission. Correct. Who's that? Manoj?
It,
No.
it was Farzam then.
Farzan. Okay. Yes, Farzan. Yes, yes. Absolutely right, Farzan. It was method, right? So in the method, what will it do? The whole concept of it is to send the data to somewhere. Correct. When you are using get, you are sending it, it is basically appending whatever the details you have put within the URL and sending it to the server or backend or wherever you are storing it. Okay, for let's take an example. People are still showing up now. Okay, so let's change the design of it. It's a little clumsy. I think I don't need this. I don't think this is in the div tag. So let me add the div tag here. Be a tag here. Be a tag here. Save, and yes, there's a little bit of space. Also will give space for address. Again, you'll take a lot of time, to make it look a little better, especially when you're not using CSS. Okay, now it looks a little better. So basically, if I click on, yeah, UG and PG, there is no label for that. I think we have not changed the labels for those, so let's change that as well. Okay, but let's again, you can do, I think we'll do it and come back. Let's see, radio here. I don't think there is any label. Yes, we are using a label, but why is it? I think for everything is 333. Okay, this is one label. Let's change it to 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7. And this is not really required, but again, you can leave this blank. It's not required. So that there won't be any overlapping. Okay, that means if I click on this, it will work. Yes, this is the whole concept of label. I have not given this label, so it's not working. Okay, so when I type something, okay, something like this, something very random, I check box this, I give a password, and now what is doing is it's appending everything to the URL. Okay, so this is again not really safe in majority of the times, especially if you're trying to send the details. Again, a lot of people are joining in now. Guys, please join the class as early as possible. Okay, so this happens when you are using get. Okay, currently we are using get in the form. Where is the form tag? Yeah, currently we are using get. Correct. What you can use is post. Save this. So I think it's reloaded. Yeah, and you click on submit. It doesn't basically it's sending trying to send somewhere, but it's not going to be appended to the URL, right? So this is the whole concept of the URL concept. I mean the get and post. Okay. So once you are putting a get, you can use this is useful. Let's say for get is usually used for search engines, right? If you are searching for, let's say, best summer clothes, and you're like you go to Google and type summer clothes. So in the URL you'll be like google.com/summer clothes, something like that. That is good then for using get. But if you're sending like password or some personal information inside a form, then that is where you use post. Then it will send it through the secure channel. Okay. Okay. So this is about form. Okay. Everything related to form, I think I have explained. I think one or two characters or the type of input I might have missed. So let's look at what are the types which if I have missed anything. Okay, button we did look at checkbox. Yes, color not really needed. Date and time again. Date and time also works on the same process where it will give you a date and time you can add. Okay, so let's say this is date. Save. Now you have a date. Okay, date and time will give you date and time. If you use only date,
Sir,
will give yes.
sir, in password there will be an eye icon that we can see our password again, sir. How to put that?
Yes. I do. Yes, you can do it. You are talking about that hidden and non-hidden
Ah,
icon,
yes,
right?
sir.
Yes, you can do it. That
How to
that is with
add
the help of
that?
JS. Sorry.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Yes, you can do it. I'll show it to you. Okay.
Okay.
Snigana, right? Yes, I'll show it to you.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of people. Yes. Pradeep, you have raised your hand. Anything you want to ask? So, what is the difference between get and post method? Yeah, I think I just explained that. Sir, where will we submit data? Yes. Okay. I think I have again, guys. Excuse me if I have not read the chat box. Let me look at the chat box, sir. There is disturbance. So no. Okay, sir. This placeholder can we use value attribute? Yes, you can in the place, but a value attribute is usually for the backend for the coder. Placeholder is for the user, right? It is for the user. But for, when you are using about talking about value attribute, it is for the coder. What where he will be using that value later on in the process. Okay. So, sir, ID attribute, please repeat again, Yogita. Yes. Again, guys, I'm so sorry if I have not read the chat box at all. Okay, attribute. Okay, you're talking about ID, right, Yogita? I'll explain this in just a minute. Okay, just hold on. Just hold on. I'll explain that in just a minute. Um, how to use checkbox and radio buttons. I have covered that Varalakshmi. Can you please explain ID again? Yes, I will explain about ID again, Meghana. Hold on. How to write password and email ID. I think we have covered all of these questions. If you still have doubts, please do ask me. Okay, so let's talk about what is this ID, and how do we use it, what is the whole concept of an ID, and what are the other things related to ID. Okay, so for this particular thing, let me open up the whiteboard. Okay, I think we have covered the as much as possible for CSS. Sorry, my bad. HTML. We'll get into CSS now. Okay, so let me open up the whiteboard. Now, so when you are talking about ID, okay, that is ID, identity, right? This is not
सर
the
सर
yes,
डायरेक्ट
yes.
ये बता दो ना कि मतलब आईडी की यूज कहाँ पे हुई है, कैसे हुई है यूज आउटपुट के अंदर।
हाँ हाँ हाँ, I will योगिता अभी बताता हूँ. Okay, yeah, I will tell that. Okay, what IDE is, sorry, ID is for, okay, is called a selector. Okay, I think I'm not sure. It's called a selector. Matlab, what is a selector now? Selector is used when you have written a lot of code, okay, but you want to maybe design something, or it's like a call button. Okay, if you're a coder, it's like a calling function, right? You will call from what type of function is this is the function name in a very coding language, correct? If you have used C, C++, anywhere else, coding, calling name or the call name is what we are talking about here as selectors. Matlab, what does it mean? There are majorly three selectors. One is ID, second one is class. Guys, please come in at the right time. Okay, and there is last is elementor. Sorry, element. Okay, so these are the three type of selectors, or which you can use to call the function again in a coding language. Okay, what now, what if you are not a coder, if you have never coded and you just got in, what is this calling thing? Okay, that means if you again, if you have someone in your let's say you want to contact your friend, right? What will you do? You'll pick up the phone and you'll type their number and you'll call them, correct? Through what? Through their number. That is the same thing applicable here. Okay, for ID you will give a specific number, name, whatever it is. For example, okay, you will give it as, let's say, if it's for, let's say, heading ones, so I'll give it heading. So anywhere you have used the ID heading, okay, you can change, you're calling it and you're saying, hey, heading, you will have so and so characteristics. Characteristic का मतलब क्या है? मतलब you will have this color with you, this font size will be, this is something will you'll have, your attributes will have so and so attributes. For what? Because you have a ID called as heading, right? Same thing applies for class. Let's say h2. For all the h2 tag, okay, wait, no, let's give this a different name. Let's give it as heading heading 2. Okay, let's give it as heading 2. Okay, or heading yeah, this is fine. So wherever you used the class called as heading, okay, you will call it and you like all the headings, you will have all the headings too, you will have so and so attributes. Your color will be, let's say, orange, your font size will be 10, your font family will be open sans, whatever the font you want, right? Your placement will be in the last corner of a website, somewhere, something like that. Okay, for element, it is the attribute which is already there, not an attribute, it's the tag which is already there. For example, p tag, or div tag, or div tag, any type of tags, h1 tag, or any type of tags. Okay, let's say form tag, whatever your tag you have used, you will call them. Okay, say that uh, for only one type of paragraph, I will call this as my uh, details. Okay, and let's write a little code here. I'll give you a small understanding of it. Okay. So let me write p tag and let's say my details. Okay. And I will also give phone number, say name, whatever it is. Right? So, but when I want to change the color of this, okay, you can use any of these selectors inside this particular thing. For example, ID equals details. Okay. Now what happened? Let me break it down. Yeah. So this is what is happening. Now I'm like, hey, inside the p tag, which I have used as ID for details. Okay. Sorry, it's my details, right? My details. I will call it. Okay. I will call it using the hashtag. Okay. Let me not go there. Let me not go there. Style. I think we learned about the style tag yesterday, correct? This is for the CSS, right? So inside style tag, what I do is I will call this, I will use this. Okay. So I will be like ID. It, this is the flower bracket, by the way. If the font is a little off, this is the flower bracket. Inside flower bracket, I will use it, not ID. I'll use as my details. Okay. So inside my details, I will write as color equals, let's say, blue, and I will terminate. Don't worry if you don't understand all this. We'll explain. I'll explain that. Okay. So within that, and I will close the style tag. Okay. Let's put this inside a code and let's see if it runs. Okay. Let me open a new file. Let's say I'll write this as class 3 dot html. I think class 3 already exists. So let's class 4. Okay. Let's put this here. I'll give a little bit of basic tag here. Let's put this code, copy. Inside the body, I'll put this. Okay. Let's see the output first. I think I'll have to stop the yes. Let's go live. Yeah. So this is my output for now. Okay. But let's change the coloring of it only for this thing. Okay. I can use it directly. I can use the something called as inline. We'll talk about that. But if you're using ID, how do we use it? Let me copy that, the remaining thing. This I'll copy and I'll come to the head part. Okay. And I'll put that code here. Okay. Let's save this. Let's go to the server. Okay. Have you saved this properly? It's not changed. I think we have to use yes.
Sir, instead of ID, we can use class.
Yes. You can use class. You can directly use class. Wait, not this also. You can use class. You can again. That's what I'm saying. Now, these all are attributes which you can use anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. These are all what we call as selectors, which you can use. All three you can use. Okay. There are syntax involved for all of these three. Okay. I think I have not explained that. I'll explain that. Okay. So let's go to the code. So what changed here? Okay. So if you are using ID, okay, the syntax to call it will be hashtag the ID name. Okay. Let me even bring it down. Let's make it even simpler. So whenever you are using ID, the syntax for it will be, to use hashtag ID name. Okay. whatever the ID name is, you have to first use the ID hashtag ID name and then open and close brackets. Then it will, that is the syntax. Okay. For a selector, whatever the selector you might use, let's say if you're using the same thing for class, okay, then the same thing will change. For class, you will have to say, if it's a class, syntax will be dot class name, again brackets. So this is the class name. Okay, so let's put a class name here. I'll I'll use class, let's say para. Okay, this is my class. I will go inside the style and I will say dot, what is my class name? Para. So para, open and close brackets. Okay, I will put this as font size as, let's say, large, or yeah, large is fine. Okay, I will save. Now this font is large. I think that is the, yeah, that is the, this is how we use class. Also hold on. You can use multiple names inside class. Okay, let's say par1. Okay, I'll do something like this. Copy, paste. Yes. Okay, I do something like this. Now what I'll do is I'll change the number here. Okay. Now the par and par1, par2, par3 have a little bit of space here. Correct? There's a one space given. What this does is that it will give you two classes in the same field. Okay, that means, say that now what is the font size for par? Okay, so wherever I have called par, okay, the font size will be large. Correct? But dot par1, open and close, I want only for par1 for the color to be green. Okay, green, and I close it. Okay, save it. So wherever I have used the class par1, only there the color of the text will be turning into green. Okay, let's save this. It is. Okay, what is actually what is happening? Okay, I'm using, in the class you have the opportunity or the flexibility to use more than one name. For ID, that is not how it is. For ID, if you use one name, it will be for that attribute or for that particular tag only, or one that place only. That's it. You can have your, you have your phone number, right? Anybody else has your phone number? No. But name everybody will have. If if Abhishek is here, right? So many other Abhisheks also will be here. If Yogita is here, so many other Yogitas will also be there. Correct? If Jaskrit is here, there's so many other Jaskrits. Just like that, for class, you can have many different types of attributes, not attributes, the field, but for ID only one. Okay. Next is another, the basic, that is the element selector. Okay, that is the element selector. That is whatever the tag is. Okay, that means if I say, let's say I want the body. Okay, whatever is inside the body tag, I want some changes here. Okay, so for that I can use no, let's say background color. Background color is going to be something like, let's say aqua. Okay, save. So whatever is in the body, okay, that is complete body, will have a background color. Let's check this out. Wait, this, right? So this is how you use these three elements. Now, inside selectors, there's also something called as selector combinations. Now, if I go into this, your head will explode. Okay, because if I go into select the selector combinations, it's a very big topic, and not a big topic, it's very, you need your understanding to use this. Okay, what it does is it will help you to combine all the different types of selectors you want. All the different selectors you can use. That means you can use the ID selector, you can use within the ID selector, you can also use class selector, element selector, different selectors in the same styling which you can do for that. Okay. I think for that, we don't probably have that right time. I think we can use hash. So, yes, okay. I think you were talking about the ID, right? I hope Manoj. I think Manoj. Yeah, Manoj. I hope that is what you were talking about. Yeah. Okay. Global selector. Yes. Very good, Divram. Thank you so much for telling me that. Now there is also something called as hashtag. Sorry, star. Now this will let's say for the whole website you want certain things to be set, some certain things to be default. Okay, maybe because your company uses one type of font. Okay, for anywhere, Instagram, website, LinkedIn, wherever, they use one particular font. Okay, or one particular color, very specific color. So you can do, what you can do is, for the entire website you can give a few defaults. Okay, whatever it might be, color default, it might be the font default, font family default, or the font size default, whatever you want to give the inside the hash trig. Okay, or the star. Okay, you can make it default for the entire web page. That means it will not change. Okay, that means it will not change. Also, just before we end, there's one more thing I want to end with. Okay, this